Hey guys, so today we are very much excited with our very special guest. Roll with Liz. Welcome Liz to the EBM Scholars.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is the special interview because it's the first time we are doing face-to-face interview, despite doing some collaboration before through online interview. So welcome in the real EBM Scholars.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be on your channel and thank you for your unending support.
Yes. So today we are going to talk about how to come to the United States through fiancé visa. And you are the expert of that. Among the other things I'm saying, you are expert. You processed and came to the United States through the fiancé visa. For those who do not know, first of all, can you share your channel and also explain the steps to go through to that particular type of visa?
Yeah, so my channel is Roll with Liz, and it's already tagged. He's going to tag it and put the link in the description. Go ahead and check me out. And on my channel, I share my journey through the K1 visa, life as an immigrant in the US. All these are very interesting stuff. So the K1 visa, or the 90-day fiancé, or the fiancé visa, is a visa that you attain if you have a partner that is a US citizen and you're from a different country. So you're from abroad, say from Kenya, Ethiopia, wherever, and your fiancé, doesn't matter, a man or a woman, is a US citizen. And so the requirements are that you must have met in person for at least a year or two. So you must have evidence that you have been together and the relationship is standing or legitimate.
Not online without
Not online.
meeting.
That won't work. Then the second thing is your both partners, most importantly the US partner, and even you coming from a different country, you should not be married, of course, because the K1 visa requires that when you come to the US, you get married within 90 days.
Yeah.
So you cannot get married if you're already married, correct? So make sure both partners, you are single, as you say. Because if you're married and you say you are single and they find out that you're married, then they're not going to give you the visa. So make sure, with all due honesty, you give the correct information.
Exactly. Because if you are married, there is another visa, not K1.
Visa.
Yeah, the spouse visa. So people should not confuse.
Two. And so when you apply and they ask you for the requirements, definitely they're going to consider, look at your documents that you have submitted and see if the relationship stands. And if if all requirements, you meet all requirements, you definitely get the visa. And it doesn't, it's different from each case to the other. So I would say it takes between 7 months to 1 year to fully process, and the other person comes to America. However, you should be able to be patient, because visas are like that. Whether it's visitors, spouse visa, every visa, you must practice patience. So that's what I would say. So that's what I'm thinking off my head, but unless you have any particular questions, you can also ask me.
Among the evidences, you have to show that the relationship is legit. What are some of the evidences? Because when marriage are a little bit different, but when you are in the relationship, what evidence do you need to produce?
Okay, that's a very good question. So you looking at say pictures, you can take pictures if you're on a bus or train, or if you have visited the other family. Take pictures with family, not just a selfie with the two of you, but to show that you're out there and meeting people, and it's a picture that shows the background. Right now we are here, stuff like that. And then also, if you travel together in a bus or air ticket, whatever you have, make sure you indicate both names. If you're living together, have a receipt that has both your names to show that you have actually been together physically. Something that I'm thinking also, the social media. If you have if you're friends on Facebook or Instagram, you can screenshot when you post pictures together. That also
and also on Facebook they allow to say you are in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah,
Facebook,
but also
so if you
especially
have that
with
one,
the pictures.
Yeah.
So something like that, just to show anything you can think of offhand that you know will show that for sure. Or some people do the traditional introduction. For example, in Uganda, we do kuchala, we do the first introduction to the family.
Bride price, did you pay?
If you have those traditional wedding videos and pictures, those are really good. So take a screenshot, take a picture, show them videos, just produce any information that you know for sure they will say these guys have met. So you're just trying to prove that you have met physically and the relationship is legitimate.
Okay, then from there, how was the visa interview?
So the visa interview is pretty quick, at least for me. I don't know about other people. I speak from my experience. It was so quick, but because just like any other visa, you're nervous, your nerves are, kicking in, and you're thinking, what are they going to ask? But really, what they ask you is about your fiancé, your partner. So they'll ask you, for example, who is EBM? And then you just say, okay, when was he born? As they look at you, they just want to know for sure, do you know this person? Or did you just meet online and you're deceiving? They can ask you something so off. They can even ask, okay, so when did you guys meet? So it just, you don't have to know the exact date when you met, but you, for example, you can say, we met in March, blah, 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 blah. Something, that's how mine was. It was not anything serious. It was just a basic conversation, and then they just like that.
How many minutes? How long did it take?
Less than 5 minutes. I'll tell you. It was just looking at me, asking and ticking and ticking. Then they told me, you know what, you have to wait for your stuff, FedEx, and off I went. However, if you're applying from Uganda for the fiancé visa, spouse visa,
and green card lottery,
green card, everything, you'd have to travel to Kenya, to Nairobi, because we don't have a consular that deals with those visas. So that's what you should keep in mind, that you will have to incur some expenses to travel to Nairobi and Kenya. And also what I forgot to mention is it's not free, so prepare for some financial straining. You have to pay for the visa, you have to pay for a ticket, you have to pay to travel to Kenya, you have to make sure all those are expenses. So as you apply, plan for the expenses coming along. And don't ask me how much the K1 visa was, because go to the website and find out the exact figure.
There are two processes. There are processes the US citizen will do in here to file the petition for to produce that is a relative that is planning to get married.
Yeah.
So it has to be approved. That one, you have to pay that one first, and then there is DS 260 cost related to that. That is for fiancé visa. There is another cost. It has to be done. So there are other things in between, and medical, all those kind of things.
And even when you come here, you pay more money because you're going to get a permanent resident card.
Yeah.
So it's more money to think about, and a lot of waiting, like I said. So yeah, that's what I have open. Sorry, it's a bit noisy. We are filming from outside the hotel, so it's really crazy. But I hope at least you could hear me. And another thing is, if you want to find out most of this information, go to the website and find out more information. Don't just take word by word and say, this is what she said. We're just talking from my experience. It could be different for you. So go ahead and check out if you need to know exactly what you're looking for. But we're just here to enlighten you and give you what we know for sure from experience.
I want to give a disclaimer for people, because people can think that fiancé visa is like a student visa. In what sense? Like, I can just apply university. You cannot apply a fiancé. You must have one in order to apply for that type of visa.
You must also be ready to get married
within 90
days.
There is some, even if you are in US, a US citizen marrying a US citizen, you have to get a marriage license. It expires after 90 days. But if you are in US and you are a US citizen, if it expires, there is no wedding, there is no marriage. But if you come as a fiancé visa and you don't get married for whatever reason, you just quarrel or whatever, you don't get married, you are supposed to be deported. You have to go back because the deal is over. So people have to know that, you don't get married. No, everything is off. So don't piss off the person.
Don't
change their mind.
Start throwing tantrums and saying, me, I want matoke, I want posho, I cannot find ugali. First relax, calm down.
It's like if the wife or you have a girlfriend and the girlfriend wins the DV lottery, you must be the most trusted boyfriend ever on this planet so that you can get married, because if she changes the mind, you're not coming to America.
Right.
And if the husband and the wife, the winner is the husband or the wife, you have to pray to God the winner not to die. Because if the winner dies, the deal is off, unfortunately. So it's very interesting to see how these things are interdependent one another.
Yeah, so that is basically, we're just covering overall what you can think about off your head if you're thinking of doing something like that.
Did you have a good sleep the day you are told your visa has been approved but wait for the actual visa, or the day you received the passport with the visa? Did you have good sleep? Because it's very stressful in the entire process.
I'll tell you what, mine was quite different, because when we applied, there's a lot going on. Then of course I was alone in Uganda and waiting to how do you call it? So whenever you petition, and everything goes through, you on my end or on whoever is working on it, you have to go in and schedule for the interview.
Yeah.
Once you have been approved, because you can petition and they deny. So once you petition and they say, okay, this is what you're looking at, so you have to go in and schedule for the interview. That was the worst, because every day I would wake up and look, there is no date. You have to, every single time you have to go. I checked, I don't know how many times I checked. Even in the middle of the night I checked, until one day I checked and I saw it. And immediately you see it, you must pay. Immediately you pay, then you get to schedule. So that was the difficult part. But once that went through and we did the interview, I don't know, for some reason I was positive when I was going for the interview, but of course you're nervous somehow. So once they said it's okay, go home and wait for the paperwork and stuff like that, I was relieved, I would say. So I slept well, and I felt like at least something has been shifted off what I've been waiting for. When you're waiting for the visa, hey, you're just like, what is going on? What is going on? If you have done it, you know what I mean.
From the day you received your visa, how many days or how long did you wait to get into the flight to come to America?
I didn't wait long. I think it was 2 weeks.
Where did you put your passport in those 2 weeks while you were waiting?
I already packed. So I already had my bag. It was ready. You can't miss a chance. You have to pack and I put my hand. I prayed for the suitcase. There's no joking, because you're going to fly how many miles? It's not easy. You have to pray, you guys. If you are religious, pray. If you are not, that's okay. Thank God, thank Mother Nature. But just do something.
Yeah. How was it landing in US?
Landing in the US, I was so tired. First of all, it's the longest flight I'd ever had. So I was so tired, but it felt different. All of a sudden, I was like on a different planet. Because coming out, everything is clean. I don't see potholes. I don't see trash all over the place. It was nice. It was just different and clean and super dry. I said, you go to a restaurant and you don't truck mud in the restaurant. That doesn't happen in Kampala, unless you're visiting Sheraton.
Yeah.
So it was a really kind of different experience, and very relaxing for sure. Until, of course, a few days you get used, you see how people behave and stuff like that. But the first time you land, you feel a difference. Everyone is, and here people are always quick. People are always walking really fast, and I'm like, what are they going to catch a flight or what? And it's just like going to do.
No hurry in Africa.
Yeah. So yeah, that is it.
So, for the period you have been in the United States, there are mistakes you have done, there are things you have learned. If a new person is coming today to the United States, what advice are you going to give that person?
First of all, I'll say be ready to learn. Be ready, have a teachable spirit, because it's going to be a different kind of transition. be ready to learn new food, be ready to learn a new language. Like, just be open to anything, and that will help you adjust easily. Because if you're going to say, I want to eat beans only, beans with rice and what if you don't find it? So what happens? So open your mind to adventure and learn to respect people's culture. People are different here. There's everybody from all over the world. So don't expect to see somebody speaking don't bring your tribalism, for example. Don't start to say, hey, I'm looking for people from the western part. No. Accept that you are now in a new region and you're going to learn from scratch, by the way. And I think that is what I didn't have so much to regret, but that if I knew that concept, I think the first days it would have been easier for me, because every time I was like, oh, in Uganda it is cheaper. Oh, in Uganda we don't do this. Oh, in Uganda
that is a very good one.
Oh, if you go to the restaurant, oh, in Uganda people will wash your hands. Oh, and my husband was like, why don't you just relax?
Go back to Uganda.
No, of course he couldn't say that, but he said, why don't you just realize that people are different? You're now in America. Let's try to appreciate a little bit. And that woke me up. I said, okay.
When I went with Marie for the first time in Tanzania, I said, it will be your new experience. You might like Tanzania, but I like America more. If you want to stay there, we'll stay there, but I'll get into the flight and come back. But there is that situation where you many people, for me I had to change fast, but majority of people to think about the currency, like $10 is how many shillings, whatever. So but in future people, they stop that one. So thank you so much for sharing very good discussion about fiancé.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate.
Okay, bye.
We'll see you in the next video.